talking about my art at all because I know that there are a lot more things I could probably stand up here and tell you about, but after writing about it, I realized that it actually has quite a bit to do with the important things. It's been about structure for a long time now. My understanding of that word has changed entirely over the past couple of years, though, along with my idea of what art is. When I was first making structural work, structures were just physical things. They were the houses I lived in, they were the shapes I liked drawing, they were the controlled environments that were built on top of a world that wasn't, they were the spaces that brought people together. These were the constantly changing ideas I had about what structure's role in the world was. I was always coming up with new reasons that physical structures built by humans mattered. And this was because knowing that structure mattered to the world meant knowing that my art mattered to the world. Things changed though when I was sitting in art class with Luca and I asked her what I should do with my life. She told me that I should build structures like I already had been. And when I asked her to clarify, she told me to just look at these people as she motioned toward my friends. So I looked up the definition of structure and found out that it was simply the arrangements of and relations between the parts or elements of something complex. This is when I finally realized how much bigger structure was than what I and humanity were physically building. This is when I realized that I'd spent all this time drawing and cutting and designing and building structures, not ever taking a second to realize that I've been simultaneously forming and analyzing and being in and with and because of these growing and breathing and dying structures that were made out of people and love instead of paper and lines. So this is when my art became about us. I started writing about and thinking about the arrangements of and relations between my friends, the pieces of a complex little community, then my family, then my classes, and then this place. Not OCAD, but ESA. I'm going to talk about this place specifically now, though, because the ESA Contemporary Art Program is one of the most beautiful structures I've ever gotten to be a part of. It's one of the most beautiful loves I've ever gotten to be a part of. So I sat in on a grade 10 class a little while ago. We were going around the circle talking about our art. One girl cried, and then the girl who spoke after her cried as well. And earlier in the year, Luca did this beautifully honest critique, and then a little while later, Katerina did a critique with her own version of that whole beautiful honesty, and told us that it had been inspired by Luca's. So you see, I've been spending my time in this program watching all of these young people become better humans than I even knew they could be, because they were constantly proving to each other what was possible. And as more became possible, we became more. We became more of what's beautiful in the world. I can't quite put into words how proud I am of each of you for that. We owe so much of this to art, though. Art is the reason we sat in a circle with that grade 10 class. Art is the reason we gathered in VA for 4 years and talked about what we did and why it mattered and what we loved and what it meant to us and who we all were because of it. Art is the reason we had the opportunity to practice terrifying vulnerability. Art is the reason that in the month before Portfolio Day, I witnessed and felt the least explainable kind of community love that I'd ever known. Art is the reason we're together right now. It gave us the space and time and motivation to access everything that made our community what it is. The art, it was most importantly a tool for and evidence of love. You see, this program taught me about how people learn themselves and the world through each other. This program taught me that art doesn't and shouldn't have to end at art. Most importantly, though, it taught me what it means to be a part of a structure that is more than what I could draw or build. A structure that grows and breathes and dies. A structure that you can love and be loved back by. The arrangements of and relations between the parts or elements of something complex. Our classes are the arrangements of. The way we love is the relations between. The parts or elements are us, and the something complex is this jumble of people who care. And even though this structure is made of all of us and more, it began with Barry and Novak. So thank you guys. Thank you for creating a place where we get to learn the world and call it art. I only have a week left now, so I've spent a good while trying to avoid the pain and fear that comes with the end of something like this, the end of something as beautiful as this. Slowly though, through writing and talking and loving and listening, but mostly listening, I learned that the end of things is what makes them really worth living through at all. Because we wouldn't have ever told each other the whole truths if we knew we had forever to do it, if we knew we had forever to work up the courage to do it. Owen wouldn't have taught me about our power. Parker Lilly wouldn't have taught me about our growth. Katerina wouldn't have taught me about honesty. Ethan wouldn't have taught me about joy. Luca wouldn't have taught me about humanness, and Isabella wouldn't have taught me about care. That's how I'm making peace with leaving the place and people who have taught me all of this. Because knowing that it would end was the only reason we had for teaching each other anything at all. We owe everything that was to their ends. The ends that we have lived through, the ends that are here now, and the ends that are coming. So thank you.